James, you could do me a favour and just pass it Let's get this out. Oh, there you
You done? Are you still going?
Yeah, but then there's cinema action. Then what am I doing? Cinema action. There we go. So yeah, I could have. You were there right at the beginning.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to the main hall and take your seats.
Yeah, no, that's what we need to do. You've got two roving cameramen who say they're not cool. And we're just locked down here. So we can't get anyone to shots of our cameras. We're just going to be like, oh, can I have a wide view? No, Channel 4. All those little bits of people, because they don't like using that, but when that guy loses his seat, do some, allegation or something like that. We've got all the main people shots and all that. Anyway, they've got Eugene now, so hopefully we'll get from that. Nice to see you. Can you remember back to the laptop stage, Dell laptop? Yeah. We can take in the odd card with HD material on it, can't we?
I think if it's a fairly up-to-date computer,
you can take the odd one, put it on the timeline, and then do a mix down to just mix it all down together. I mean, if it's just a clip, a soundbite or something, and it's just
the other thing to do is just give them a card and get them to download.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit unfair, because the trouble is, when you get to the point of getting the stats off the computer, you don't want to stress not knowing what's happening. Just give them the card and just tell them the news stuff.
Yeah, got you.
But yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah.
If it's a fairly modern PC, you can actually put HD in the whole thing.
Yeah, I thought so.
And edit with it, and then just. But it's just there's no support to it.
Yeah.
It's a bit unfair.
Yeah, exactly.
The maths are good. It's just getting into the workflow, set of mind, but to crash it, so you can treat quickly to trust the stress.
Yeah. Got you. Okay. That's fine. No, I can't wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
Just get them to convert it to
Yeah.
They knew this was happening today, you know, and they need resources.
Oh no, I mean, one person's gone sick and it's just gone mental. I know all the other crews are sick. No, hello? And all the other crews are just are in refugee camps.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
Right, okay. Are you going to see this way? bit. I don't know. I've got to get direction off them what they want.
Oh, there's a mixed pool, mixed feed.
It's all going back to a central location and then mixing and
Oh,
patching.
right, so you got a director in there telling you what you want.
Yeah, my head.
If you see a good shot, you know, where there's tiers and tiers, let me know.
Yeah, okay, mate. You well?
Yes.
Getting in that headspace. Thinking politics.
Ladies and gentlemen, main hall and take your seats.
Sweep my mess away, leave my body, leave my bones, leave me whole and leave my soul, leave me nothing I don't need at all, nothing I don't need at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. 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 The conference is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
Take a note.
That could help me share.
Welcome to the QE2 Centre. Please listen carefully to the following emergency instructions and look for your nearest marked fire exit now. You will not be able to use the passenger lifts. In the unlikely event of an emergency during your event, the following warning sound will be given, and an announcement will be made over the public address system. If an immediate evacuation is necessary, trained staff in high visibility vests will be available to assist you. You should leave the building by the nearest available fire exit stairs and make your way to the lawn area, which is located at the front of the centre. Any person requiring special evacuation assistance because of impaired ability should make themselves known to their event organiser if they haven't already done so. Thank you for listening. Please enjoy the rest of the event.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Conference is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. about to begin. Please take your seats. Conference is about to begin.
Emma's here and then anything else is there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to the main hall and take your seats.
And a wheel set up just like you say. I'm worried about that. Yeah, no, I'll get that.
I've got to take the mains power off, but the battery's off.
Is anybody sitting there?
Ladies and gentlemen, conference will now begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ian McNichol, General Secretary of the Labour Party.
Friends, welcome. I know we're all here for one reason, and one reason only. I can tell you that the winner of the Labour Party Leadership Contest 2015 is going to be announced very shortly by the Chair of the NEC, Jim Kennedy. Following the announcement, the new leader and deputy leader will address this conference. And in a few minutes' time, we'll hear from our fantastic candidate for the London Mayor. But as your General Secretary, there are some things I'd like to say. This is an important moment in our party's journey. Hundreds of thousands of people who share our values have taken part in this election. As we opened our election to supporters, I know there have been some attempts to skew the outcome, but it hasn't worked. We've weeded out those who have cynically tried to subvert our democracy. We've run a free and fair election. I want to thank the staff, the volunteers, and the candidates themselves for the work that they have done, the roads that they have travelled, the hustings, the community meetings in every part of the country, hundreds of events, thousands of people, tens of thousands of miles travelled, and leading to one destination, one outcome here today. In the leader, we place our trust, and on their shoulders they carry the hopes of millions in Britain and beyond our borders. It's not to be taken lightly or without a due sense of responsibility. You see, friends, this Labour Party is bigger than any one of us. Our leaders have come and gone down the decades. Some, like Clem Attlee, have led for over 20 years and taken us to glorious victories. Others, like John Smith, have been taken all too soon and denied that chance to serve. But each has strived and struggled and sacrificed for the party we love. This party doesn't belong to us. We merely hold it in temporary trust. We inherit the Labour Party from the men and women who built it brick by brick over the years. People who created a mighty engine of change, embodying the best of British values: respect, fairness, and justice, and in turn used it over generations to make Britain fairer, more civilised, and more decent. Isn't it remarkable that so many people have joined Labour? I welcome them all. I look forward to seeing them on the doorstep alongside the members who have campaigned for years and decades. The challenge we set ourselves today is how we turn all this enthusiasm into practical campaigning for Labour. We know what works. The Labour Party being seen in communities day in, day out, not just at election time, in touch with local concerns, campaigning and organising. I want every supporter who voted in this election to do more than just click a button and part with £3. I want you to join our campaigns, create lively, visible Labour parties in every community. We know from the election in May how vital activism is. The disappointment of that defeat weighs heavily in all our hearts. But one thing I know from a tour of dozens of key seats over the months is that our ground campaign was exceptional. But if Labour doesn't speak to people's concerns, doesn't address their hopes, their fears, their aspirations, then leaflets and phone calls make little difference. Let me just say a few words about our interim leader, Harriet Harman, in her last few minutes in the job. Harriet stepped up magnificently after the general election, just as she did in 2010. She stands down after 8 years of service as Labour's deputy leader. She is tireless in her pursuit of Labour's values, determined to fight for the causes she believes in. Harriet, we all owe you a huge debt of gratitude. When Harriet was elected in a by-election in 1982, just a tiny handful of MPs were women. Today, over 40% of Labour MPs are women, more than the Tories, more than the SNP, more than the Liberal Democrats. I know, Harriet, you'll remain at the heart of the Labour Party for many, many years to come. And finally, one of the biggest tests for Labour next year is here in London. We have elections in Scotland, in Wales, police and crime commissioners, many other elections across the country. But here in London, we have the mayoral election. This great city deserves someone running things who's the embodiment of Labour's energy, our diversity and its buzz. Someone all of us will be proud to go out and campaign for. Someone who will be a fantastic Mayor of London. That person is Sadiq Khan. Sadiq, come on up.
Friends, I still can't quite believe that I'm standing here as your candidate for Mayor of London. I never dreamt that me, a South London boy, a son of immigrants, who grew up on a council estate, could ever be standing here today. I am deeply humbled by the faith you have shown me. Thank you. I want to take this opportunity to thank every volunteer, every activist, and every campaigner on all the various campaign teams. Your energy and enthusiasm is inspiring. And I'd like to pay tribute to all our amazing candidates this summer. In the mayoral contest, to Tessa, David, Diane, Gareth, and Christian. In the deputy leadership contest, to Tom, Stella, Angela, Caroline, and Ben. And of course, in the leadership contest, to Andy, Jeremy, Yvette, and Liz. Thank you. You know, we should all be immensely proud of the positive campaigns we've had this summer. But now, we must focus on the future. Winning back City Hall next May will be a huge challenge. And this isn't just about London. Winning next year will give us a chance to show the difference that Labour can make to people's lives when we win power. And to win, we need to show that we're in tune with the lives of the British people, that we understand the challenges they face, that we share their concerns and their ambitions, and most importantly, that we have real solutions. And for me, that's about increasing opportunity. It was opportunity that allowed my parents to move to this country and make a better life for themselves. We were given the opportunity to have a council house in South London, to have a secure and affordable roof over our heads so that my parents could save a deposit to buy a home of their own. The opportunity to get a fantastic education or apprenticeship for me and my brothers and sister. Our drive and ambition as a party must be to ensure that all Londoners, in fact, everyone in Britain, has the opportunities to build a better future. And together, we can make this a reality. Friends, whatever happens over the course of this morning, we must pull together. Not for my sake, nor for any of us in this room, or even the wider Labour Party, but for the sake of everyone in Britain who is struggling to make ends meet. Struggling for a better future, unable to afford a safe and secure home, on wages that don't stretch to the end of the month, missing out on a good education, or sick through no fault of their own. We can only help them if we are together, if we are united, if we win. So friends, let's rally together, because together we can make a difference and change this city and our country. Thank you.
During the leadership election, the leadership and deputy leadership candidates have travelled thousands of miles, taken part in over 35 hustings in every region and every nation, and galvanised over 550,000 people to take part in this process. On behalf of all of us across our movement, thank you. It gives me great pleasure now to welcome into the room our deputy and leadership candidates. Okay. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Jim Kennedy, Chair of the Labour Party's National Executive Committee, to announce the results. Jim.
Conference. You've all been very patient, and like me, you have an eye on the clock because Chelsea are early kick-off today, and I know we've got to get away. So, For the results of both the leadership and deputy leadership elections, I will be announcing the votes cast for each candidate by round. If no candidate obtains more than 50% of the valid votes cast in any round, the candidate with the least votes will be eliminated from the ballot and those votes allocated according to the next available preference. We will also show the number of votes cast for each candidate by category of elector. The full details of the results will be available on the Labour Party website following this event. The result of the election of the Deputy Leader of the Labour Party is as follows. The number of eligible voters is 554,272. The number of eligible voters casting a vote in this contest was 408,470. The number of spoilt votes was 374. Not bad. So, the votes cast in round one are as follows. Ben Bradshaw, 39,080 votes. This represents 9.6% of the votes in this round. Stella Creasy, 78,100 votes. Which represents 19.1% of the votes in this round. Angela Eagle, 66,013. This represents 16.2% of the votes in this round. Caroline Flint, 64,425. This represents 15.8% of the votes in this round. Tom Watson, 160,000. $160,852 votes, which represents 39.4% of the votes in this round. On the screens is also shown the breakdown of votes cast in this round for each candidate by members, affiliated supporters, and registered supporters. In this round, no candidate has achieved more than 50% of the votes, and the candidate with the lowest votes, Ben Bradshaw, is eliminated, and their next preference votes will be redistributed in the next round. The votes cast in round two. Stella Creasy, 86,555. This represents 21.4% of the votes in the round. Angela Eagle, 72,517 votes. This represents 17.9% of the votes in this round. Caroline Flint, 74,581. Which represents 18.4% of the votes in this round. Tom Watson, 170,589 votes. Which represents 42.2% of the votes in this round. On the screens is also shown the breakdown of votes cast in this round for each candidate by members, affiliated supporters, and registered supporters. In this round, no candidate has achieved more than 50% of the vote, and the candidate with the lowest vote, Angela Eagle, is eliminated, and their next preference votes will be redistributed in the next round. The votes cast in round three. Stella Creasy, 103,746, which represents 26.4% of the votes in this round. Caroline Flint, 89,538 votes, which represents 22.8% of the votes in this round. Tom Watson, 198,000. $198,962 votes, which represents 50.7% of the votes cast in this round. On the screens is also shown the breakdown of votes cast in this round by each candidate, by members, affiliated supporters and registered supporters. I therefore am delighted to declare Tom Watson elected as Deputy Leader of the Labour Party. And I have the great pleasure of inviting Tom Watson, Deputy Leader of the Labour Party, to address conference.
Come on, sit down. Nothing really prepares you for this moment. And for those of you that don't know me that well, being prepared is not something I'm renowned for. In fact, my kids are backstage, and we've been writing this speech just before we got on, or should I say speech. The running order actually says very brief words from the Deputy Leader. And my 10-year-old says, the first thing you've got to do in a speech is thank your mum and dad. Well, actually what he said was you've got to thank 3 people. So thanks, Mum, thanks, Dad, and thank you, Baroness Alicia Kennedy, for being the best campaign director you could ever want in a referendum. And thank you, Roy, her partner of many years, who was a rock. In moments like this, it's impossible to reflect on all the people who made it happen, though. Many of you are here today, and you are loved. And many thousands I haven't yet met are not here, but I want to send my gratitude, humility, and determination to live up to your expectations. And particular thanks to the members of West Bromwich East Constituency Labour Party. We're a family, and I wouldn't be here without your unstinting support. Thanks also to the CLPs, MPs, MEPs, MSPs, AMs, and the hundreds of thousands of members, affiliates, and supporters. Thank you all. It's been a strange campaign, but it's given me time to reflect on early political memories. I remember in the 1972 miners' strike, having it explained to me as a 5-year-old that the lights were going out because Mr. Heath was not paying the miners enough money. Well, in this deputy leadership election, I only received 3 nominations from trade unions. So I'd like to thank the National Union of Mine Workers. I give you my solidarity. I gave you my solidarity as a 5-year-old, and I thank you for returning it back in this selection. And I'd like to thank my friends in ASLEF and the Bakers Union for their support, their nominations too. And though I didn't get their nomination, I'd like to thank my union, Unite, as well as UCAT and the TSSA for their endorsement, which I shared with Angela Regal, a worthy opponent who I hope will have a big say in Labour's next chapter. I said in this campaign that our leader will have to cast a new vision for the country, and their deputy will have to help them realise it. And I meant it. I promised to back our new leader 100%. I plan to do exactly that, and I ask you to do the same. Only through unity comes strength, the strength we need to fight the Tories. And be in no doubt, in the Tories' second term, Labour is the last line of defence for the millions of people who suffer in their hands. Only Labour can speak for the real Britain. We haven't always, but that's what we have to do again. We can and we will, I promise. And to those who feel alarmed by the scale of difference between the old world and the new, I say this. There is only one Labour. One Labour. And it's bigger than leaders or deputy leaders, bigger even than its members and supporters. And on behalf of the millions who need us, we are the guardians of decency and fairness, justice and equality in the United Kingdom, and we're going to continue to do that. At our best, we articulate and embody the common sense compassion of the British people. The no-nonsense belief that things ought to be fair. If you put in when you can, you should get out when you need. Well, we've had a Tory government for too long. But this has never been a Conservative country. British people believe in hard work and a fair crack. Above all, a fair crack. That's not the Tory way. They don't play fair. They believe in the primacy of the market, but their markets are arbitrary and unforgiving, whereas we believe in the wealth it can create, but not in the unfairness that comes if it's not mediated. Yet anybody who thinks there's a contradiction between pro-business and pro-worker doesn't understand either. That's why I believe we are the true party of Britain. Yet we just lost another election. So we need to think again about what we offer and how we communicate it. I said I'd overhaul our party organisation, putting members and councillors at the centre of everything we do, and I'd lead a revolution in our digital campaigning and organisation. That work starts this afternoon. But I have to say, the Labour Party is at a critical moment. And great movements like ours endure by understanding and embracing moments of such change. We can't afford to duck the truth. I did 109 constituency visits in the general election campaign, and I've done 113 party meetings during this leadership election. So in the last 6 months, I've talked to a lot of people. I've talked to every kind of person there is. And I have a very clear sense that this election has been as much a referendum on the political culture of the Labour Party as it has been about the candidates' policies. And it's been an indictment of politics as a whole. People are sick of all politics. And even our own people are sick of the old ways of doing politics. That's the biggest challenge we've ever faced as a party. But if we face it together, embrace it together, we can turn it to our unstoppable advantage. Let those Tories and the pundits think we're weak, while we unleash the implacable power of hope. And to all those Tories sniggering up their sleeves that we won't win in 2020, I say simply this: watch this space, watch your backs. We'll be watching you, and we will win in 2020. And to all, and to all my comrades in arms in this hall and throughout the UK, I say, come with us, join with us. We're going to weave ourselves back into communities in every inlet and avenue of Britain. There should be nowhere in these islands that's not Labour. We stand for common sense decency of the great British people. Nothing is stronger than that. And if we take that out into the streets together, we will win. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, conference. Now going to announce the results for the leadership of the Labour Party. As with the results of the deputy leadership election, I will now be announcing the votes for each candidate by round. If no candidate obtains more than 50% of the valid votes cast in any round, the candidate with the least votes will be eliminated from the ballot and those votes allocated according to the next available preference. We will also show the number of votes cast by each candidate by each category of elector. The full details of the results will be available on the Labour Party website following this event. The result of the election of the leader of the Labour Party is as follows. Number of eligible voters, 554,272. The number of eligible voters cast in a vote in this contest, 422,664. The number of spoilt votes, 207. So the votes cast in round one are Andy Burnham, 80,462. This represents 19% of the votes in this round. Yvette Cooper, 71,928. Which represents 17% of the votes in this round. Jeremy Corbyn, 251,000. Okay, conference. If you can, if there are formalities to finish, could you please take your seats? Could you please take your seats, and can the media please sit down so the rest of the conference can see what's going on. Jeremy Corbyn, 251,417 votes, which represents 59.5%. All of the votes in this round. Okay, conference. Liz Kendall, 18,857 votes. okay? Which represents 4.5% of the votes. On the screens is also shown the breakdown of votes cast in this round for each candidate by members, affiliated supporters and registered supporters. Jeremy Corbyn has won more than 50% of the votes cast in this round, and I'm therefore delighted to declare Jeremy Corbyn elected as leader of the Labour Party. Conference. 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 It is now my great honour and pleasure to invite Jeremy Corbyn, leader of the Labour Party, to address conference.
Can I start by thanking everyone who took part in this election, this huge democratic exercise of more than 500,000 people all across this country. It showed our party and our movement passionate, democratic, diverse, united and absolutely determined in our quest for a decent and better society that is possible for all. And there are many people I want to thank before I say a few words, if I may. First of all, to Ian McNicol, the General Secretary of the party, and all of the party staff for their incredible hard work during this campaign, the general election campaign, and all the other campaigns that we do and will continue to do. Ian, thank you very much, and please make sure all our staff are aware of the appreciation we all have for all of them. Thank you. I want also to pay a huge thanks and tribute to Harriet Harman, who has been our acting leader and our deputy leader, and before that, our acting leader. I've known Harriet for a very long time, and what I would say of her is her absolute commitment and passion for decency, equality, and the rights of women in our society is something that we will honour her for, thank her for, and we have legislation that's been brought about by her determination. Harriet, thank you so much for all you've done. And the way in which you've led the party since the tragedy of the election result in May. I want also to thank and congratulate Tom Watson on his election as Deputy Leader of the party. Tom is passionate about communication, passionate about holding the state and unaccountable people who don't wish to be accountable to account. Tom's your man to do that. I want also to thank Ed Miliband for all the work he did as leader of our party. I had a very long conversation with Ed a couple of days ago, and I thanked him for his work as leader of the party. I thanked him for his work as Environment Secretary and somebody who's passionate about defending the world's environment against the way it's being destroyed at the present time. But I also thanked him for the way in which he stood up to the abuse that he received by much of our media. And the dignity he showed when his late father, the great Ralph Miliband, was so brutally abused by some of our media. So, Ed, thank you for all of that. I want to thank the fellow leadership candidates. We're discussing the number, whether it's 29, 35 or 39 hustings we've been to together since this election started. We'll discuss that later and exchange diaries. But it's been a fascinating experience for all of us. And I want to thank them for the way the debates were conducted, the way that we were able to put forward political debate and political differences and still come out at the end of it with a group hug. We're going to reform ourselves as an ABBA tribute band and continue this work in the future. Andy Burnham was our health secretary, and Andy's passion and determination for a national health service as a human right, free at the point of use, is something that comes over every time Andy speaks. And his passion for comprehensive education to ensure all children have a reasonable, fair and decent start in life. I want to say thank you to Yvette Cooper for all the work she's done in government and in the party, but in particular, over the past few weeks, helping to shape and turn round public opinion to show sympathy and humanity towards refugees and the way they're treated. And one of my first acts as the leader of the party will be to go to the demonstration this afternoon to show support for the way refugees must be treated and should be treated in this country. I want to thank Liz Kendall for her friendship during this campaign, for the way we've managed to have some moderately different opinions on a number of issues, but we've managed to maintain a very good friendship. And Liz is somebody that I admire because she absolutely stands up for what she believes in, whether it's easy, simple or popular, or uneasy, not simple or popular. So Liz, thank you very much. Those late-night train rides will never be the same again. So thank you to my fellow candidates and to the thousands of party members that have attended the hustings events all over the country. And it's quite amazing that every one of them was completely full, standing room only, and many, many other members and supporters were unable to get along to them. That is a tribute to our party, all the candidates, both for deputy leader and for leader, and the way in which our members want passionately to engage in debate and be able to influence party policy and make our party more inclusive, more democratic, and their membership better listened to in the future. I want to thank my own campaign team. They've been absolutely amazing. We came together after we had got onto the ballot paper, I appreciate with difficulty, and I want to say thank you to the 36 members of Parliament, well, 35 plus me, because I nominated myself, for nominating me for this position. I know some of them had possibly some reluctance to do so. It is reported. But they did so in a spirit of inclusion and a spirit of democracy. And I thank them for that. And I look forward to working with all of them after this election campaign, because we've got great work to do in the party. And so our campaign began with very little. And we gained support, we gained volunteers. And I thank the unions that nominated me: Unite, Unison, the TSSA, ASLEF, the Communication Workers Union, the Prison Officers Association, the Bakers Union, the Socialist Education Association, the Socialist Health Association, and the support received from the RMT Union and the FBU, and all the other unions that took part in this together, between the unions and party membership and all the affiliated organisations. That is where we get our strength from. And as a former union organiser in Newpie, now part of Unison, I fully understand the importance of unions at the workplace, defending people's rights, standing up for their members, and that's why I don't appreciate what this government is trying to do to shackle unions. Our campaign attracted the support of 16,000 volunteers all over the country, organisers in each part of the country that organised all the events and meetings that we have held. And in total, we've done 99 of those events. Today is the century, and we are here at the end of this very long campaign. And it's been quite incredible, the numbers of people that have come forward to join our party. But before I go on to that, I want to just say a big thank you. They all know who they are. To my many personal friends, many people, everyone in Islington North Labour Party, for electing me to Parliament 8 times up until May of this year. Their fantastic comradeship, friendship and support. It's been quite amazing, and I absolutely value their advice. Sometimes it's advice you don't always want to receive, but that's the best advice you get. And I say thank you to all of them in Islington North. I also say a huge thank you to all of my widest family, all of them, because they've been through the most appalling levels of abuse from some of our media over the past 3 months. It's been intrusive, it's been abusive, it's been simply wrong. And I say to journalists, attack public political figures, make criticism of them, that's okay, that is what politics is about. But please, don't attack people who didn't ask to be put in the limelight, merely want to get on with their lives. Leave them alone in all circumstances. During this amazing 3 months, our party has changed. We've grown enormously. We've grown enormously because of the hopes of so many ordinary people for a different Britain, a better Britain, a more equal Britain, a more decent Britain. They're fed up with the inequality, the injustice, the unnecessary poverty. All those issues have brought people in a spirit of hope and optimism. So I say to the new members of the party, or those that have joined in as registered supporters or affiliated supporters, welcome. Welcome to our party. Welcome to our movement. And I say to those returning to the party who were in it before and felt disillusioned and went away, welcome back. Welcome back to your party. Welcome home. And there's the media, and maybe many of us simply didn't understand the views of many young people within our society. They had been written off as a non-political generation who were simply not interested, hence the relatively low turnout and low level of registration of young people in the last general election. They weren't. they're a very political generation that were turned off by the way in which politics was being conducted and not attracted or not interested in it. We have to and must change that. So the fight back now of our party gathers speed and gathers pace. I'm delighted that Kezia Dugdale is here today, our leader in Scotland. We're all going to be campaigning in Scotland for Labour in Scotland with those great traditions, those great Labour traditions in Scotland. I thank Carwyn Jones for his leadership and the way in which we're going to fight in Wales, and I congratulate them on ending the internal market in the health service in Wales, something we want to do in the rest of Britain. And I say congratulations to Marvin Rees, selected yesterday as our mayoral candidate for Bristol. We're all going to be down there, Marvin, helping you and supporting you to win Bristol. And to my friend Sadiq Khan, who's been elected as our mayoral candidate for London. Sadiq, we're going to be campaigning together. And we're going to be campaigning together, particularly on the crucial issue of housing in London. I am fed up with the social cleansing of London by this Tory government and its policies. We need a Labour mayor. We need a Labour mayor in London who can ensure we do house everyone in London. We do end the sky-high rents. We do end the insecurity of those living in the private rented sector. We need a Labour mayor to bring that about in this wonderful great city of London. And Sadiq's the man to do it. This week, the Tories will show what they're really made of. On Monday, they have the trade union bill designed to undermine even the ILO conventions and shackle democratic unions and destroy another element of democracy within our society. We have to oppose that. They're also pushing the welfare reform bill, which will bring such misery and poverty to so many of the poorest in our society. I want us as a movement to be proud, strong, and able to stand up and say, we want to live in a society where we don't pass by on the other side of those people rejected by an unfair welfare system. Instead, we reach out to end the scourge of homelessness and desperation that so many people face in our society. We're strong enough and big enough and able to do that. That is what we're about. There are many, many issues we face, and many people face desperation in other parts of the world. And I think it's quite incredible the way the mood in Europe has changed over the past few weeks of understanding that people fleeing from wars, they are the victims of wars, they are the generational victims of war, they're the intergenerational victims of war, end up in desperation, end up in terrible places, end up trying to gain a place of safety, end up trying to exercise their refugee rights. They're human beings just like you, just like me. Let's deal with the refugee crisis with humanity, with support, with help, with compassion, to try to help people who are trying to get to a place of safety, trying to help people who are stuck in refugee camps, but recognize going to war creates a legacy of bitterness and problems. Let us be a force for change in the world, a force for humanity in the world, a force for peace in the world, and a force that recognizes we cannot go on like this with grotesque levels of global inequality, grotesque threats to our environment all around the world, without the rich and powerful governments stepping up to the plate to make sure our world becomes safer and better, and those people don't end up in poverty, in refugee camps, wasting their lives away when they could be contributing so much to the good of all of us on this planet. We are one world. Let that message go out today from this conference centre here in London. I conclude by this. The Tories The Tories have used the economic crisis of 2008 to impose a terrible burden on the poorest people in this country. Those that have seen their wages frozen or cut, those that can't afford to even sustain themselves properly, those that rely on food banks to get by. It's not right, it's not necessary, and it's got to change. We need an economic strategy that improves people's lives, that expands our economy, that reaches out to care for everybody. You can't do that if at the same time you do nothing about grotesque levels of inequality within our society. We need to develop an economic policy that deals with those issues. And so our party is about justice, is about democracy, it is about the great traditions we walk on. Those that founded our party and our movement, those that stood up for human rights and justice, the right for women to vote, the right for others to vote. We stand here today because of their work. But we go forward now as a movement and a party, bigger than we've ever been for a very, very long time, stronger than we've ever been for a very long time, more determined than we've been for a very long time, to show to everyone that the objectives of our party are intact. Our passion is intact. Our demand for humanity is intact. And we as a party are going to reach out to everyone in this country to take us on that journey together, so no one is left on the side. Everyone has a decent chance in life and a decent place within our society. That's what Labour was brought about to achieve. That is what we're going to achieve. This election campaign is, as we see here, about shaping our future. Our party is going to, I hope, become more inclusive, more involved, more democratic, and we're going to shape the future of everyone in this country in a way that I think will be remembered as something that is good for everyone, that brings about the justice that we all crave, and that is what brought us into this wonderful party and this wonderful movement ourselves. I say thank you to everyone for all their support, friendship and comradeship during this election process. And I say thank you in advance to us all working together to achieve great victories, not just electorally for Labour, but emotionally for the whole of our society, to show we don't have to be unequal, it doesn't have to be unfair, poverty isn't inevitable, things can and they will change. Thank you very much.
You and me, me and you, you and him, him and her. Everybody,
Come on, Lever. Two Lever. Keep smiling, it's two Lever. Keep smiling. It's two Lever. Keep smiling. Come on, Lever. 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 Find the glory, Greg!
Happy with the outcome? There we go. Trace! Sorry, mate. Sorry. Anyone on the tripod I usually give way to. Sorry, mate.
Well, I'm pretty stunned by the sentence. On the other hand, I have to say, I didn't vote for Jeremy, I was in a but that was my first speech. That was a really, really good speech. He did not only pull the party together, not just talk about actually supporting the party. We actually talked about the vision of But I'm loyal. I mean, whoever's in the leader of the Labour Party, I'm a member of the Labour Party and I support the Labour Party. I think Yvette would have been a brilliant leader.
Yes, I agree.
And I think Jeremy might surprise us.
Guys, can you put some please?
How are you?
What's his name? Real Labour has stored, not you Labour, real Labour. Come on Labour, still Labour Party. We love Labour. Real Labour.
Oh, can I have that one? Because there's not many people who got this stuff on. Yeah, thank you. That's great.
This is the deputy mayor of Great Council. Oh, well, there we go. West is best. Oh, I know.
Move your motor. Can we keep moving, please? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who will.
If anybody can.
It's the vestiges, it's the Irish immigrant thing where they go,